be talking about articles, and this right here I got from Purdue OWL, just so if you guys want to know the sources. But we're going to talk about an article. And what is an article? An article basically is an adjective. And like adjective, it modifies nouns, but they are very, very specific. So there are two types of articles in the English language. So there are a lot of adjectives, but there are only two articles. These articles are the and a or an, which we consider as like one type, right? So the is used to refer to a specific or particular noun, something that we know, something that is a very, you know it, I know it. For example, the boy is tall. We're talking about a specific boy. And so a and an is used to modify non-specific nouns and non-particular nouns. We don't know exactly what the noun is referring to. For example, I want a gray notebook. Any gray notebook. We don't know which gray notebook, so we say a gray notebook. Whereas if we know the notebook, we can say I want the gray notebook. Okay? So the is specific, a or an is not specific. Okay? For this reason, we call the a definite article, like here. So the is called a definite article because it's definite. We know exactly what we are talking about. A or an is an indefinite article. It's not something that is very clear on which article it is, okay, or which noun it is that we're referring to. So indefinite, not definite. Okay, so for example, the example that we have, if I say, let's read the book, you and I know exactly which book we are talking about. Maybe through previous conversations or so forth. However, if I say, let's read a book, it just means let's read any book. Really, we don't know which specific book. You can then tell me, oh, I would love to read Hamlet. Okay, let's read a book. Cool, we can read Hamlet. Because we don't know exactly which book we are talking about. We could be talking about any book. Okay, so here's another way to explain it. And the is used to refer to a specific or particular member of a group. For example, I just saw the most popular movie of the year. There are so many movies, but there's only one particularly popular movie. So it's one of that member. So the most popular, the prettiest girl, the smartest guy. There are many movies here, like we said, but there's only one most popular movie. So we use the in this case. A or an is used as non-specific, like we said earlier. And for example, we can say, I would like to go see a movie. We don't know which movie. We don't know exactly which movie we're going to go see, but we know that we want to see a movie. So this is kind of the difference here. We're talking about any movies, and there are many movies. You just want to see any movie. So not a specific one in mind. And so now we're going to take a closer look at indefinite articles and then on to definite articles. So we have two indefinite articles, or it looks like we have two indefinite articles, a and an, but they are not different. They modify a noun and referring to any member of a group. For example, my daughter really wants a dog for Christmas. This refers to any dog. We don't know which dog we're talking about, but this refers to any dog, and this is the example I'm reading. So what's the difference between a and an? They are the same, except and we use with vowels, like E, I, A. So when the next word starts with an A, like animal, we use an. When it starts with an E, like elephant, we use an. When it starts with an I, right? I, E, O, U, A, and Y, typically, okay? And Y. Oh, didn't type it. Come on, there we go. I, E, O, U, A, and Y. These are our vowels. And an is basically used with the vowels, which are these. But we're going to take a closer look. So A is only used with singular nouns that begin with a consonant. So for example, a boy, a car, a bike, a zoo, a dog. And so basically all the letters that are not vowels. An is used with singular nouns that begin with a vowel. Like we said earlier, an elephant, an egg, an apple, an idiot, an orphan. Okay? A plus a singular noun beginning with a consonant sound, a user, for example, we use a. So most of the words that begin with a vowel, we use an. However, if it sounds like it doesn't begin with a vowel, then we use a. For example, user. User sounds like you, zer, and begins with a consonant Y, and so, or a consonant Y sound, so we use a, like university, unicycle, and so forth. A university, a unicycle. The thing is, here we said that Y is, we put an and with Y, and Y is a vowel sometimes. So Y is one of those weird ones, okay? So if it sounds like E or an I, it would be considered a vowel. Here it doesn't sound like I, right? It sounds like you, zer, which sounds like you. Like it's not I form for that. I don't know if I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. But if not, then feel free to ask. So that's that. And with a noun that we use and with a noun that starts with a silent H. For example, an hour, right? I will be there in an hour. We use an even though there's an H because the H is silenced. If the H is not silenced, then we use a. For example, a horse, okay? In some cases where H is pronounced, such as historical, you can use an. However, A is more commonly used and preferred, okay? Which you really don't have to worry about. But for the most part, if we don't pronounce the H, then we use an. If we pronounce the H, then we use A. If there's a vowel, odds are you're going to be using an. If there's a vowel that doesn't sound like a vowel, like university, sounds like Y-O-O, like we said earlier, then you use a. Okay? So that's that. So we're going to go forth and we're going to say, okay, so the, you guys, the is a definite article and it's used before singular and plural nouns. A and an are only used with singular nouns. The is used with a singular noun and plural nouns. Okay? So for example, we can say the box or the boxes. All right? The dog that bit me ran away. This is where I'm at. The dog that bit me ran away. Here we're talking about a specific dog that bit me. I was happy to see the policeman who saved my cat. We know exactly which policeman we are talking about. It is very particular. We might not know his name, as in this case, we don't know who the policeman is, but we know who we are talking about or what we are talking about. About sounded Canadian right there. So, I saw the elephant at the zoo. Here we're talking about a specific noun. And probably there's only one elephant at the zoo, and that's why we use the. Okay? So the can also be used with count nouns and non-count nouns. So remember that count nouns are the ones that you can count, like book, books, okay? Boxes, pen, pens, pencil, pencils, okay? We can count them. Non-count nouns are things like water or education, things that you cannot add to. They're just one unit, all right? So the could be used with either one. A cannot. A means one. A or an means one, okay? So if I have one pen, then I can say I have a pen, all right? The can be used with anything. A or an can only be used with count nouns because a and an mean one.